Let's first explore how FTX and FTT work. We're also going to be breaking down for you yield farming as well as exploring a flywheel machine. Now, if these are kind of new topics to you, don't worry. We're going to get deep into the details on this. I hope it's very educational. I know I learned a lot during the making of this video. All right, let's talk about SBF, FTX, FTT, and a whole host of other things. Now, not sure if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but this is quite the story. In fact, this could be the story of 2022, or at least definitely top 5 stories of 2022. Originally, I set out to essentially put this all together into one overarching video. That quickly spiraled into a series of videos, so here's where we're at. Over the coming days, weeks, maybe it'll be months, we'll see how it plays out. I'm going to be laying out for you guys a handful of different videos covering all the different subject matter. We'll be going from, facts to speculation to straight up conspiracy theories when it comes to SBF, FTX, FTT, and like I said, a whole host of other things. All right, so first things first, how FTX and FTT worked. A year after its founding, FTX Exchange introduced the exchange token called FTX Token, or FTT. The FTT coin is an ERC20 standard token that is actively used by an ecosystem participants. Initially, FTT was established as a reward for exchange transactions. However, over the years, the list of functions has grown. FTT is applicable in the creation of leveraged tokens on the FTX exchange. Users can receive VIP discounts in the form of FTT depending on the number of coins they own, and it's possible to earn rewards for providing liquidity through future positions. In order to maintain its value, the exchange regularly buys back and burns its tokens, spending on the purchase of FTX 33% of the trading fees, 10% of the reserve fund, and 5% of the commissions. Now, let's explore the FTT token use cases. 1/3 of commissions received from transactions on FTX are utilized to buy back FTT. These tokens redeemed in this way are burned. FTT tokens are used to reduce trading fees and to secure futures positions. Profits from massive market movements are distributed among the holders. By purchasing a white label version of FTX's OTC over-the-counter portal and future markets, institutions and investors pay expenses in FTT tokens. By creating leveraged tokens, projects can pay listing fees with FTT. Users can stake their FTT to benefit from discounts, bonus votes, and blockchain fee waivers. One of the benefits of FTX token described by FTX is commission discount. Members pay a low fee and obtain tighter spreads. Traders can use FTT as collateral, and those who are active on the FTX exchange see percentage differences of up to 60%. Traders get insurance protection, which ensures a net profit in movements of market volatility, then makes it possible to continue trading even without a margin call. In addition to the fact that FTT is useful for opening positions with leverage, FTT staking also offers perks, discounts, the opportunity to win NFTs, participation in airdrops, bonus votes, and IEO tickets. Alright, so what does that all mean? Well, the FTT token isn't an equity. It's more like credit card points or air miles. There's no ownership stake or guaranteed returns. Instead, you get perks related to your trading. However, unlike credit card points, FTT can be openly traded with others in the crypto market, and FTX commits to using 1/3 of its commissions revenue to buy back FTT. This causes FTT to act like a bet on FTX. The more trading that occurs on FTX, the more FTT FTX will buy, presumably driving up the value of FTT. Now, if my explanation of FTX and FTT left you scratching your head, don't panic. We're about to jump over to an interview with SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's the founder of FTX. So surely he's going to explain it in a much more nuanced and understandable manner. However, I'm going to give you guys a little warning. This interview of his has actually become infamous now at this point in time. It was an interview from the Odd Lots podcast where SBF describes yield farming, and he describes it essentially like a Ponzi scheme.
Now, on the other hand, the point of this video is that what this billionaire crypto CEO is about to describe, that is definitely a Ponzi scheme. So let's just check it out.
A surprising amount of legitimacy for what farming could mean. Where'd you start? You start with a company that builds a box. And in practice, this box, they probably dress it up to look like a life-changing, world-altering protocol that's going to replace all the big banks in 38 days or whatever. Maybe for now, actually ignore what it does or pretend it does literally nothing. It's just a box. And then this protocol issues a token. We'll call it whatever, X token. And X token promises that anything cool that happens because of this box is going to ultimately be usable by governance vote of holders of the X tokens. They can vote on what to do with any proceeds or other cool things that happen from this box. And of course, so far we haven't exactly given a compelling reason for why there ever would be any proceeds from this box. But I don't know, maybe there will be. So that's sort of where you start. And now what happens? Well, X token has some market cap, right? It's probably not zero. Let's say it's, $20 million market cap.
From first principles, it should be zero, but okay.
Sure. Okay. I completely reasonable comment.
That's not quite true, but when you describe it in this totally cynical way, it sounds like it should be zero, but go on.
Describe it this way. You might think, for instance, that in 5 minutes with an internet connection, you could create such a box and such a token, and that it should reflect it should be worth $180 or something market cap for that effort that you put into it. In the world that we're in, if you do this, everyone's going to be like, ooh, box token. Maybe it's cool. If you buy a box token, that's going to appear on Twitter and it'll have a $20 million market cap.
All right. Red flag 3. My man just said, maybe in your world, a box that does nothing can't be worth $20 million. But in my world, 20 million minimum. And this is sort of where things go full Ponzi, we don't even try to hide it. Money goes up because more money goes in, and more money's going in because money goes up.
So, X tokens being given out each day. All these sophisticated firms are that's interesting. If the total amount of money in the box is $100 million, then it's going to yield $16 million this year in X tokens being given out for it. That's a 16% return. That's pretty good. We'll put a little bit more in, right? And maybe that happens until there are $200 million in the box. So, sophisticated traders and or people on crypto Twitter or other sort of similar parties go and put $200 million in the box collectively, and they start getting these X tokens for it, right? And now all of a sudden everyone's like, wow, people just decide to put $200 million in the box. This is a pretty cool box, right? This is a valuable box, as demonstrated by all the money that people have apparently decided should be in the box. And who are we to say that they're wrong about that? This is, I mean, boxes can be great. Look, I love boxes as much as the next guy, right? And so what happens now, all of a sudden people are kind of recalibrating. It's well, $20 million, that's it? That market cap for this box? And it's been 48 hours and it already has $200 million, including from sophisticated players in it.
All right, well, if the cynical take of SBF wasn't enough to make you doubt FTX and FTT's legitimacy, there's more to it. And I'm going to jump over now to Dirty Bubble Media Substack, and we're going to explore exactly the basic architecture of a flywheel scheme. So it works like this. Create a token, pump the token's price, mark gains to balance sheet, show gains to investors, raise cash through equity sales or loans, which allows you to pump the token price again. Hence, you can continue to keep the flywheel spinning. Getting deeper into the structure of a flywheel scheme is quite simple. Create a token. Tokens are literally just bits of code on blockchain. Program that sucker up and get it rolling. Make sure you retain the majority of those tokens on your balance sheet for maximum flywheeling. Pump the token price. Retain a market maker. Buy tokens using your customers' assets. Wash trade it to infinity. Do whatever it takes to drive the price sky high. And since you kept most of the tokens for yourself, there's that many fewer tokens out there that you have to pump. Mark those babies to market. That's right. Now you reap your rewards, at least on paper. Now you can show billions of dollars in assets on your balance sheet. Show off your success. Now's the time to cash in. Hook some savvy investors, maybe they're suckers, like pension funds into massively overpaying for your equity or into making your big loans collateralized by your token. Keep that flywheel spinning. Now you have real dollars. Buy yourself something nice like stadium naming rights, politicians, or failed crypto companies. But don't forget, if the flywheel stops spinning, you're going to have a bad time. I'll be honest, when originally putting together the research for this video, I thought I understood overall the FTX, FTT, Alameda, all that stuff. But as I looked deeper into it, I realized that I really don't know a lot about this subject matter. And once listening to both SBF's interview as well as reading the description of a flywheel And now looking at the structure of FTX, which was the exchange, Alameda, which essentially was the market maker, and FTT, which was the token of FTX. And understand, FTT is originally what brought this all to a boil, right? When we found out that Alameda's, the majority of their balance sheet was actually made up of FTT tokens and other illiquid assets. But we're going to get into that in another video. Anyways, this video, I just wanted to break down for you guys exactly what the deal was with FTX, FTT, their relationships, how they worked, as well as what yield farming was and what a flywheel was. I hope you guys understand now a little bit better what we mean by all these terms. And trust me, there's a lot more to get into when it comes to the FTX SBF saga.